speaking English. No cam, no cameras required. Please kindly go on mute. Steve, Khalid, please turn.
Okay.
Subbu, please go on mute. I'm just requesting you because we don't want any background noise. Vamshi, can you please turn off Sashi's camera? You are the admin.
There you go.
Vamshi, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Uh, right. Can you? So in our list we have Shashi. Can you please turn off his camera? I think he is not
Yeah.
able to hear us. The last in the list. I still see the camera. Okay, all good. Okay, team. Let's not waste our time. Recording. Yeah, Vamshi started recording. Thank you, all of you. A grand welcome to all of you. My name is Lakshmi. I'm working as a director for a hands-on agile coaching company based out of Australia. We are experts at providing hands-on training programs. So we provide the cybersecurity, we provide the Azure data engineering, Azure data analysis, and the cloud, and a lot of AI, ML. All our trainings are job-oriented trainings. I have 25 years of experience in IT. I worked in London, Belgium, Netherlands, and many parts of the world. Finally got settled in Australia. So I'm a citizen of Australia here. And we have a lot of credibility globally, and we provide a continuous support. And you can join all our trainings any number of times. We help with the CV, LinkedIn, and the job opportunities. We have Telegram channel where we provide job opportunities as well. And once the interview is scheduled, one-to-one interview guidance. So we are talking about a continuous hand holding where you can't get it outside. So I'm the person for the guarantee for that. Okay. And I'm talking on the recording and I don't talk nonsense. Right. Good. Why we gathered here? So we have some students who already registered, and we also have good number of students who are very new, very new. So the main purpose of the gathering here is for all of us to understand more about the Azure and data analysis and engineering part. Basically, who is an engineer? In simple terms, engineer is someone who build, right? So in the data part, so you're going to build the data, you're going to clean the data, you're going to provide the data to the people. To whom? Anyone. Maybe you provide the data to the artificial intelligence team, maybe you provide the data to the data analysis, you provide the data to the business people. So why they need the data? For all of them, they need the data to take the data-driven decisions. Data-driven decision, even for the cybersecurity professionals as well. They need to have the data, and if there is any mismatches in the Splunk logs, please, Jeff, please go on mute. Thank you. So if there is any spikes in the Splunk logs and all those things, all these things are based out of the data. So that's very, very important. See, that's more in the engineering part. And when you're talking about the analysis part, okay, I have the data here and what it tells me. So it's you are going to do the more of an analysis. You are going to do more of an visualization. Okay, here is the data, and then how I am going to interpret this data. Okay, and the roles are becoming more, hybrid kind of roles. Not only in the data part, even let us say, for example, some of you are from agile background. So we learned, Nila, kindly go on mute. I'm keep on repeating, please go on mute. Please check your mics. We don't want to hear or record any background noise. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask as many questions as you have. We are happy to support you. Okay, right. So the roles are becoming much more hybrid. We are seeing how much of uncertainty is going on in the market, how much of uncertainty. And especially last 2, 3 days with respect to the tariffs and all the things, job cuts and everything. So in this kind of challenging environment, so if you want to stand out yourself in the market, it is very important for all of us to master the subject, not only in one area, we need to widely master a lot of other areas as well. So that will help us stand out in the market. And that's what we are going to teach you in this training program. So this training program is going to heavily cover both the engineering part and also the analysis part as well. Earlier, it was two different trainings, but now we matched. We do have other training as well. If you want to just focus only on the Power BI, only on the analysis, we have another training program. But this training program, it's starting today. It's going to go until 2 months of time. I think we may cross over 2 months based on the course content and everything. So every day we are going to gather this time. Okay, for next 3 days we will be using the same link, and after 3 days we will change the link. So, but the timing is going to be same. Excuse me. And each and every live class will be recorded as well. So we are going to give you the live class recording, the materials, the hands-on assignments. There is a dedicated support on the WhatsApp group. I already created WhatsApp group for your information. If you are interested, you can join that group. Okay, team. And what else? Okay, that's all. I don't want to waste any of your valuable time. Time is very important. We make each and every minute most valuable to us. So I'm going to invite my trainer. His name is Vamshi. He's having extensive experience in this Azure part. He is currently working as an AI scientist in Microsoft. So he is working as an AI scientist. So Vamshi is here, and Vamshi is going to help us with all the training. He's going to be our trainer, our coach. So he is going to guide us end to end from the data part. So what is the data, how to restructure the data, and he's going to help us to create the cloud environment. So he's going to help us to learn the Python, and he's going to help us with the PySpark as well. And Microsoft has introduced the latest Microsoft Fabric Analytics. So he's going to teach us all those stuff, latest stuff. And the interesting thing is it is completely practical. So whatever the activities that you do after getting the job, you will do as part of our training. Okay, team, who is on mute? All right. Okay, I'm stepping back here. I'm handing it over to Vamshi. Vamshi, over to you, please.
Thank you, sir. Hey guys, hello, welcome everyone. So before we start with this session, let me tell you about myself. So I've been working for around 18 years into this field here. So right now I'm working as an AI research scientist at Microsoft. And based out of my experience, I'll tell you, so why these roles are very important today. So why these are trending across the globe here. I'll also show you with valid proofs and everything. So why people are actually, I mean, why you people are, into demand actually. Okay, so when it comes to the case of data engineering and again, the data analytics part here, so why they go hand in hand and again, so what are the different other kind of roles here? So in an analytics team, so generally, if you look at an analytics team, right? So we have various roles here, data engineer, data scientist, and again, data analytics, so data analyst, so we have various roles here. But again, we'll also try to understand the differences between them and again, why this is very important. Okay, so and again, what is the trend of this one across the globe here? So let us look at all these kind of things in today's session. And I'll also show you few practical kind of things here. Fine. So it's going to be some interesting kind of things here. Okay, so let us check it out. Well, so for the very first time, but before this one, let me also tell you, almost all completed 10 plus batches into this data engineering. But again, this is the first time that we are launching this data engineering and again with the data analytics combinedly. All right. So Azure engineer. So and
administration's efforts to rewrite
So,
American history with
data
Vamshi, can you mute
analytics.
everyone?
Yes,
all
yes.
efforts related to diversity, equity, and inclusion, which
All right. So what exactly this one is? So okay, you can break down this into two kind of modules here. So one is the data engineering part and again the data analytics part here. So we'll also dive deep into the concepts of this data engineering and again the data analytics part here. Okay, so what exactly is the kind of roles that you'll be performing here? And again, what are the kind of nature of work you'll be doing here? So why it is important in order to learn both of these kind of things here? Because every day today, you see in the real world environment, right? So the jobs are hybrid here. Okay. So, people are, see companies or organizations wants professionals who have knowledge in both of these areas here. All right. So now let us try to understand the data engineering part and of course the data analytics kind of thing here. So what exactly this is? So I'll give you a brief introduction about the data engineering. And again, so what is the role of this data engineering here? So, I mean, if you've seen the analytics team, right? So today we have like data engineer, data scientist, machine learning professional or AI people. So what is the difference between all these kind of roles here and why data engineering is very, very important today? All right. And again, see, because let me tell you, without the data engineering process, right? So today the analytics team, can't work here actually. So that is the importance this particular field is having. So this role is having actually. So, but again, let us try to dive deep into the concepts of this one. And again, we'll also try to understand why Azure. So, because today, if you look at, right, so everything is cloud, right? Fine. So, but again, why we need to concentrate or why we need to focus on Azure? So, why not AWS or why not GCP or any other kind of cloud here? So, we'll try to understand all these things in detail here. All right. So, what I'll do is I'll break down these things in two different kinds of modules here. So, one is the data engineering part. And again, so the data analytics. All right. So we'll break down these things into two parts here. So what is the data engineering and what is the data analytics here? And again, so I'll also tell you the workflow, end-to-end kind of workflow here. So then you can easily understand what exactly we do here actually. All right. Now, for example, now if you look at the definitions, right? So there are a lot of definitions in the, market here. All right. So if you open Google and if you type in what is data engineering or what is data analytics here, so you get a lot of definitions. But again, so some of the definitions you can't even understand. Okay. So let us break down. Let me break down the things in as simple ways as possible, and I'll tell you each and every part here. Okay. So what exactly you people will be doing so that you get a better idea of what is the nature of work here actually. All right. Now, okay, so let us look at the popular definition. So one from Wikipedia. So data engineering refers to the building of systems to enable the collection and usage of data. So this data is usually used to enable subsequent analysis and data science, which often involves machine learning. Making the data usable usually involves substantial compute and storage, as well as data processing and cleaning. Now, if you look at this definition, right? So there are a lot of keywords here. All right. So a lot of keywords. Let us break down these things here. Now, first of all, here we are trying to deal with some kind of thing called as data. And as a data engineer or as a data analyst, right? Okay, so you people need to understand what are the different types of data that we deal with here. Now, traditionally, as per the data generation, right? We had, three different kinds of data. The data was classified into three different categories here. So one, we call it as a structured kind of data. Then we call it as a semi-structured data. All right. And then we have something called as unstructured data. And then, so these were the popular kind of data, classifications actually. But again, today, there is some other kind of data, special kind of data. So which has been, carved out from unstructured kind of data. So which is also called stream data. Stream data, or let's say, for example, we also call it as real-time data. All right, real-time data. Now, what exactly this one is, let us try to understand with examples here. So it is going to be very interesting session, guys. So kindly pay your attention because the world itself is revolving around data. Let me tell you. I'll also tell you the reasons why. Now, today, if you take it AI, machine learning, or any kind of thing, we require data here. So without data, we can't even train any kind of AI models or even, Elon Musk can't come out with his own product or again, Google, Gemini, Microsoft, again, Copilot or something. Okay, so let me tell you this one. Now, structured data was unstructured data. So let us try to understand the differences between them here. Now, structured data, if you look at, right, the name itself tells you the data is having some kind of predefined structure. All right. So, for example, the best example of this kind of structured data is some kind of table format. Okay. So, table data. Now, in a table data, right? So, table data means data looks something in this way. Table data. So this is some kind of typical table data here. Okay. So you have rows and again you have columns here. All right. So now, for example, so the best part of this kind of example is that structured data, that is table data, data which resides in some kind of table format. So which has some kind of rows and columns kind of format here. Now, what is the type of data that we have here is numbers, okay, so dates, and again, some kind of characters, that is strings, we call it as. All right. And it is very simple to, I mean, like, for example, handle and deal with this kind of data. And we have a lot of kind of frameworks of lot of languages, but the most popular kind of thing is SQL, structured query language. All right. So this is one of the most popular kind of language. So, I mean, where we can try to deal with the data, where we can query some kind of thing. Okay, so we write some kind of queries actually in order to interact with the data, which is stored in a database tables here. All right, so this is about structured data. Now, on the other hand, if you look at a semi-structured data, right? Semi-structured data resembles the form of structured and unstructured kind of data. So, for example, your web pages like HTML page, XML kind of pages are there, right? Okay, so these are the perfect examples of semi-structured data. But again, if you look at unstructured data, right? Unstructured data, now this is where the world is actually revolving around. And again, you people are into demand actually. Now, I'll tell you the reasons why. Now, see, unstructured data, the name itself tells you the data is not having any kind of structure. Fine. Okay. Data doesn't has any kind of structure here. All right. Any kind of format or any kind of structure here. For example, now, in the other sense, I mean, the data, I mean, so how the data is stored here actually? So data is stored in different formats here. For example, you take the case of files, you take the case of word processor kind of things, or there are many, many examples. Let me give you some kind of examples here. So let's say, now this is some kind of text file, we call it as notepad text file. Okay, so this is a perfect example of your unstructured kind of data. So do you think that it has any structure here? No, right? Again, so let me tell you your email data. You open your Gmail and you type in something, you send some kind of mails here. So that is a perfect example of unstructured data. And again, messaging platforms. So today we are dealing with n number of messaging platforms, whether it is WhatsApp, Telegram, Snapchat, or whatever it is. Okay, so all these are the perfect examples of unstructured kind of data. And again, on the other hand, social media data. So we are having n number of social media kind of things also. So whether you take it X, whether you take it Meta, whether you take it, I mean, again, any kind of Instagram or Pinterest or whatever it is. All right. Again, IoT kind of data. So today we are living in smart kind of data, right? Smart watches, smart devices, everything. Okay. So where the data is getting generated in unstructured kind of format. You're booking some kind of food online. All right. You're booking some kind of rides or Uber or something. Okay. So data is getting generated in unstructured kind of format. You're searching for something over Google search engine. Some unstructured data is getting generated in the background. And again, so you book some kind of, or you purchase some kind of products over Amazon or some through some kind of apps or web browsers here. So again, the data is getting generated here. You again put some kind of messages to your near and dear ones in some kind of messaging kind of platforms here. Again, unstructured data is getting generated. So likewise, if you look at, right, there are n number of examples where the data is getting generated in this kind of format. Your stock markets, and again, your banking systems. And again, so there are likewise, there are different domains here. So where the data is getting generated usually into this kind of format. Usually in the sense, let me tell you what is the amount of size here. I'll also show you that one. Now, so Gartner, which is one of the popular research-based consulting firms across the globe here. So what they conducted on what they found out from their researchers. So the amount of data that is being getting generated in the structured kind of format accounts to almost all 20% of the total data generation, only 20%. Now, what is the rest 80%? Rest of 80% is into this kind of format. So all your semi-structured, unstructured data, streaming kind of data, today we are able to see, right? All belongs to this kind of format here. And which is a very big challenging kind of task here. Because see, now if the data doesn't has any kind of structure, right? So first of all, how do you even extract the data? How do you even store such kind of data here? Because data is into different formats here. All right. So traditionally, if you look at, right, I'll also show you what happened in the traditional kind of computing kind of things here. And after cloud came into the concept, how does it handle those kind of challenges here also? We'll also, deal with those kind of things here. So this is some kind of challenging task here. And this is where, so they have given it some kind of name to this huge volumes of data. All right. Huge volumes of data. So it is called as big data. All right. Big data. So big data refers to huge volumes of data, and huge volumes of data in the sense it will be more of unstructured data. And again, of course, structured data is also there, but again, more amounts of unstructured kind of data. And let me tell you, see, let me show you with what format today we are actually dealing. Now look at this, guys. So we are at this position, right? Now, for example, when you even purchase your Apple iPhones or Apple Mac kind of things, or again any other kind of laptops or whatever it is. Okay, so what is the amount of storage that you're able to get, guys, in the market? So hardly TBs, right? And that too, 1 TB or 2 TB is not more than that one. All right. But let me tell you, see, the data generation is already into this exabytes of data, and we have already entered into this zettabytes of data. Very soon, I mean, so we'll be also reaching to this yottabyte of data. Now tell me, like for example, analyze something or think something. If the data is this huge, right? Okay, so where do you store such amount of data? Because see, every day we are, I mean, like for example, let me tell you, now we have social media accounts with us. I mean, okay, so what we do, I mean, simply take our selfies and we upload some kind of data there. But again, have you wondered how come these organizations are able to manage your data? All right. So think about that one. So what is the amount of data that is getting generated? I mean, year by year, actually, data is exponentially rising like anything. And that is where we require some kind of professionals who can handle this huge amounts of data. And again, even find out some kind of meaningful insights from the data. Not only able to store and manage that one, but also able to derive some kind of meaningful insights from the data. Because what is the data telling you about? Now, if you look at some kind of retail sales, right? Okay, so people want I mean, professionals who can tell them what exactly is happening in the data. So that is the data analytics part, right? Okay, so you derive some kind of valuable insights from the data. All right. So now let us try to understand the process about this one. Now, for example, now before this cloud, we had some kind of traditional way of extracting and storing this kind of data. So we call it as data warehousing kind of system. Yeah, data warehousing system. All right. So let me tell you what exactly happened in this kind of traditional kind of process here. So before to cloud, this was the concept, guys. Now let me tell you, I'll tell you with examples here, real-time example, I'll tell you. Okay, so I'll not tell you in a bluff way. I mean, I'll tell you in a real-time way. So for example, this is a three-tier data warehousing architecture. So in the left-hand section, you have different sources here. So this is your enterprise data warehouse, and these are your data marts here, and these are your end user kind of thing here. End user means where the data analyst comes into the picture, and again, so he prepares some kind of reports, dashboards, everything. All right. So that, I mean, the end users can understand what exactly is happening in the data. So this is the entire process flow here. But again, let me put down these things in a real-time example. For example, let's say you're working for some kind of Walmart kind of retail. So very big retail kind of organization across US, right? So now let's say, I mean, see, Walmart has its stores, both, I mean, like for example, it has a lot of stores across USA, and people purchase, I mean, by visiting that kind of stores, and also through online kind of process here, through apps or online kind of things here. All right. Now let me tell you something. So now when people purchase through different kinds of like for example ways, right? So the data will also be getting generated in different ways, right? Yes or no? So do you agree with this one? Fine. So let's say for example, so this data is about some kind of table data, structure data, and this data is through some kind of CRM or ERP systems where the data is getting extracted through some kind of apps and some other kind of things here. And again, understand this is some kind of CSV and Excel files you're having actually. And you have been told to and analyze some kind of sales patterns in the data here. All right. Now, for example, what you do when you have been given such kind of data, right? The first thing that you perform is to extract all this kind of data and place it in one single repository. All right. So this process is called as data staging, or again, staging repository or staging database also, we call it as. Now, what happens here is, now when you deal with the data in real time, right? So data might contain different discrepancies also. So what do you mean by that? Data might contain duplicates, data might contain unwanted values also, data might contain some kind of missing values also called nulls here. All right. So first of all, you enable or you involve in data cleaning process here. Data cleaning refers to, I mean, removing all this kind of data discrepancies here. Then what you do is you apply some kind of transformations on the data. So what is transformations here is you modify your data. You transform your data as per the needs and requirements. So for example, sometimes what happens is I might have to join some kind of data in order to get some kind of information. All right. Or sometimes what I have to do is I have to apply or I have to perform some kind of aggregate calculations on the data in order to know what are the total sales or what are the top 10 kind of, customers who are giving me a lot of sales here, or what are the top 50 products in terms of sales here. So which are giving me a lot of sales actually. All right. Because see, this kind of analysis you will be making out, right? So because what kind of products are selling good actually in the market? And again, what kind of products are not selling well in the market here? So we have to focus on all these kind of things here. All right. In order to do that one, right? First of all, you need to arrange your data properly. Because see, now if the data analyst wants to give you such kind of information, right, as an end user, so let me tell you, first of all, you need to have some kind of reliable data here. Without reliable data, right, you can't even perform anything. All right. So, for example, now today we have a number of chatbots, kind of things here, Chat GPT, and again, some other kind of things here, Google Gemini. All right. So, Elon Musk kind of things also, and again, Microsoft Copilot, everything. Okay. Now, let me tell you, without the data, can you tell me? I mean, so can they come out with such kind of AI products here, beautiful products here? No, right? So they have been training, I mean, that kind of bot or something. Okay, so that kind of AI models on the huge amounts of public data actually. All right. So only then it could able to give you some kind of information actually. In the same way, here also the same thing happens here. In order to come up with some kind of insights from the data, right? First of all, there should be some kind of reliable data. The data should be properly arranged in a neat kind of format here. All right. So that is where a data engineer comes into the concept and he will be playing with the data actually. He will be dealing with the data in different ways here. No, so all the transformation part when it is done here, so finally they move the data, they store and they load that data into this enterprise data warehouse. Now here is where all of the Walmart kind of data will be stored here. So the customer data, product data, inventory data, supply chain, logistics, every such kind of data will be available here. All right. Now what they do, I mean, what do they do here is, so they try to segregate the data separately in something called as a data marts here. Now, what is a data mart? Data mart is also data warehouse only, but the difference is here all the data will be available. Here data mart will contain only some specific information. For example, so this data mart might hold only customer data. Or this data mart might contain information only about product related information. Or this data mart might contain only sales related information, so that the data analyst will become, it will be easier for the data analyst to extract this kind of data actually, rather than extracting the data from a large pool of this data ocean here. All right. So when he extract the data, right, so then actually he could able to get some kind of insights from the data. He will be preparing some kind of reports, dashboards, everything. So this was the entire process performed actually. All right. So here, I mean, so you're extracting the data, here you're transforming the data, and you're loading the data. So this process we refer it to as ETL. ETL. All right. Extraction. Then we have transformation, loading. All right. So before even we perform some kind of end user kind of process, so this is the process actually involved in the traditional kind of data warehousing architectures here. All right. So data warehouse. In short, we also call it as DWH, data warehouse. Now, let me tell you, I mean, see, I mean, before to cloud, this was the actual process, but again, it has a lot of limitations here. So when cloud came into the concept, right, things got changed actually very rapidly. I mean, okay. So let me tell you what are the limitations or what are the drawback of this kind of things here. Now, first thing is, now what are the kind of data that it could deal with it is, let me tell you, it could handle only some kind of structured data, and again, simple semi-structured kind of data like your CSV files, Excel files kind of thing here. All right. So because when you're transforming the data and when you're loading this data into the data warehouse, right, the data is again into some kind of structured format only. Structured format in the sense, again, the data will be loaded into some kind of relational format, that is table format only. So that means if I give it any kind of unstructured kind of data, right? So will it work out? No, the answer is no. Okay, so that is the first point. Again, the second point is, let me tell you now what are the amount of data that it could handle. So let me tell you, I mean, see, the traditional data warehouses are capable of handling only some kind of TBs of data, hardly 5 to 10 TBs of data, not more than that one. But today, if you look at the data generation, right, as I shown you, so the data is getting generated, I mean, exponential data every year, it is exponentially rising like anything. And again, it is getting generated more than this kind of bytes actually. All right. So now how to deal with such huge amounts of data? All right. So big data, I'm speaking about big data. So it is not possible, right? So that is the other kind of disadvantage here. And again, let me tell you, like, for example, the other kind of thing is in order to maintain that huge amounts of data, right? For example, if at all I want to go with the same data warehousing system, right? I might have to invest huge amounts of money in order to maintain this infrastructure. So which is again some other kind of drawback here. So now by looking at the drawbacks, right? So can you tell me, like, say, for example, what is the solution to this one? So the solution to this one is to move to the concept called as data lakes. Data lakes here. All right. So now let us look at some kind of data lakes. So data lakes here. Data lake. So now that we have understood the limitations of data warehouse, right? So let us try to understand what exactly is a data lake and how they have designed this concept of this data lake here. So let me tell you guys, now data lake is some kind of concept. By looking at the, limitations of this data warehouse, they have designed the data lake in such a way that first of all, it lets you to store the data in any kind of format here. All right. So that is why we call it as, so data lake will let you store the data in its native format. What is native format? We call it as native format actually. Native format. So native format means, see, unlike in data warehouse, right? So unlike in data warehouse, where we had, like for example, transform the data again, even though, for example, so here it is SQL data, here it is CRM kind of some kind of format, and again here it is some kind of file kind of format, but we have again converted the data into some kind of structured format. But again, let me tell you, data lake will help you to store the data in its native format, meaning, so if I give you some kind of text file, you can still say, load it as a text file only. Okay, no need to change that kind of format here. Again, if I give you some kind of, like, for example, Parquet file, which is a big data kind of file, you can again still load it as a Parquet file itself. Again, if I give you any kind of, CSV kind of file, right, it will help you to store the file in the same kind of format. So no need to convert that one. Unlike in this data warehousing kind of concept, right, where we have converted each and everything. Okay, so here no need to convert anything. Okay, so first of all, that means, so it is giving you some kind of feature or some kind of flexibility to store any kind of data in any kind of format here. All right. So that is one kind of very big advantage we are having actually. And again, the second thing is, now when it comes to the case of data volumes, right, it could deal with n number of data volumes here. That means huge number of data volumes here. So why? The reason is because it is hosted on top of cloud platforms. Data lake is purely a cloud kind of platform, guys. All right. So now today, if you like it, right? Okay. So we have AWS, we have Microsoft Azure, we have GCP, we have Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud. Okay. So, but again, let us discuss that cloud concepts later. But again, so it is hosted on top of some kind of cloud kind of platforms here. And again, as I told you, so everything in data warehouse, you're converting that kind of format here. All right. You're converting all the format here. But here, as I told you, you no need to convert that one. So directly you can load the data as it is. And again, you can actually process such kind of data using multiple services here. So this is the process here. Okay. So here what we involve is in data lakes, right? We try to, perform some kind of process called as ELT rather than performing extraction or ETL kind of process here. Now, what is this ELT? ELT stands for again extraction, loading, and transformation. But look at the differences here: extraction, transformation, and loading. Here we're performing extraction, loading, and transformation. That means, first of all, data lake is helping you to store the data and then transform the data. All right. Then transform the data here. All right. Yes, of course, Lichi. So we can say that data lake is helpful for storing huge amounts of data. And again, it will help you to process some advanced analytics on the data here. So that is why data lakes are helpful in order to, help you to apply some kind of advanced analytics on the data like data science, machine learning, AI kind of things here. All right. Now, the other kind of things is what we do in real world scenarios is, so we try to process every such kind of data here. All right. Now, for example, earlier what happened before to cloud, I'm telling you this concept here. Before to cloud, when we didn't had this kind of data lake kind of concept, right? Now, there was huge problems with organizations were facing actually. So what are the problems is, for example, now we speak something in the format of batch kind of data here, batch loads, batch data, or we also call it as batch loads. I'll tell you what exactly this one are. For example, let's say you're having 100,000 records with you. 100,000 records with you. All right. Now, for example, what happens here is, let me tell you something. So if I ask you to load this 100,000 records from some kind of source to some kind of target systems, right? For example, it will take a lot of time here because see, 100,000 records are not a small kind of data here. All right. So it's some kind of huge amounts of data. But again, let me tell you, so what are the challenges they were facing is, but again, see, if the same thing they had in any kind of unstructured kind of format, right? Again, they were facing huge, I mean, see, so many different kinds of problems here. Okay. So that is the reason they went with some kind of data warehousing kind of systems. And again, if you know, have you people heard about Hadoop kind of framework? Hadoop framework here. So Hadoop framework is very popular in order to deal with big data systems. Deals with big data systems. All right, big data frameworks or big data systems here. All right. So that means, for example, if you have huge volumes of data, so they used to go with Hadoop kind of framework here, Hadoop, Apache Hadoop. All right. So now let me tell you, that means, for example, when you have some kind of data, structured data, you're going for data warehouse. But again, on the other hand, when you're going, like, for example, when you're having some kind of unstructured kind of data and some kind of semi-structured kind of data, you're going for this kind of format here. That means the companies or the organizations are investing separately onto this kind of platform and again this kind of platform. Yes or no? Because both things are, I mean, see, both these things are separately, right? Okay, so these things, this Hadoop framework is a separate kind of compute resource, and again, data warehouse is a separate kind of compute resource. All right, fine. Now let me tell you, what if I say you, I mean, I have some kind of single platform, okay, a unified kind of platform where you can run all these different kinds of workloads here on one single kind of platform. So that is what we actually try to build as a data engineers here. All right. All right. So as a data engineer, so this will be your job, guys. So this is the unified platform or this is the unified data infrastructure kind of thing that you people will be building tomorrow. So as I told you, we have the concept of this data warehouse. We have the concept of this data lake. Okay. So now traditionally, like say, for example, we do not want to go separately because see any organization, they do not want to, I mean, invest huge amounts of time and money into these kind of concepts separately. All right. So because it takes lot and lot of time, guys, I mean, in order to, I mean, handle this kind of data here. So what they've done is they've combined the best features of both of this kind of platforms and they came up with some kind of architecture called as data lakehouse. All right, data lakehouse. So this is where you people will be building some kind of data infrastructure. All right, infrastructure. So in other ways, let me tell you what exactly is happening here. So for example, let me explain you with a simple image flow here. So an end-to-end kind of process flow here. So for example, let's say you're having some kind of SQL kind of data. So which is into table kind of format, a CSV kind of data. All right, which is a file format kind of format. Now JSON is some kind of file. So today we are working in automation kind of environments, right? CI/CD process and every such kind of things here. Okay, so this kind of format is used a lot actually. FARK, as I told you, it is a big data kind of format. So because today we are living in big data kind of thing here. Okay, and data engineers.
I
So these people are also
Vamshi,
called as
a
big
small
data people.
Vamshi,
Yes.
Vamshi, small request. Can you little bit slow down? Thank you very much.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Fine. So likewise, like so for example, if you look at right, we have data in different kinds of formats here. All right. Now, see, previously we had only some simple kind of format like SQL or some kind of simple CSV or Excel kind of format, and it was very easy for the data analyst to in order to come out with some kind of insights from the data. But today the data is getting generated in this kind of formats here. All right. So usually into this kind of formats. As I told you, when it comes to the case of big data, they're using Parquet files a lot actually. Okay, fine. And again, APS. APS is nothing but you extract the data from some kind of web sources or apps here. All right. And again, some kind of Excel. Now, people know what is Excel, right? Okay. Now, all this kind of data, if I have, what is the process that I perform is, I mean, I'll tell you the end-to-end kind of process here on cloud here. So what we do as a, in the data engineering kind of process is, so you extract all this kind of data and you ingest all this kind of data into your cloud ecosystem through a concept called as data pipelines. So the very first thing that you people build is the concept of a data pipeline. So where you ingest all this kind of data. All right. So once you ingest all this kind of data, right, where do you store such huge amounts of data here? So on, as I told you, on cloud, we have the format of data lakes here. Okay, data lakes. So where you try to store any formats of data and huge amounts of data. So once you store this kind of data, right, then you perform the transformation kind of process. Then you process the data actually. So there we apply some kind of PySpark kind of things here, Python and Apache Spark here in order to deal with the data, or else you go with the data factory itself. I mean, okay. So all such kind of services you implement here in order to transform the data. So finally, I mean, the data will be shared to the different people here, different teams here. All right. So like say, for example, the BI team. So where data analyst and BI people will be there. So their job is to, I mean, like for example, find the or derive some kind of insights from the data, like what exactly the data is telling about. All right. So for example, now Walmart has these different kinds of formats of data because as I told you, now customers are, I mean, visiting the stores here, and also customers are also purchasing the products online also. So the data will be generated in different patterns, right? So all this kind of data is there today. All right. So it is very essential for the organizations in order to understand the data in different patterns here, not just in one kind of pattern here. So that is why we involve this kind of process. So that is why a data engineer is very, very important in an analytics team today. Now, let me tell you, see, I worked from almost all, like, for example, I told you, right, 18 years of experience actually. Out of my experience, I'll tell you, now let me tell you, I mean, the last 5 years back, we didn't have this kind of role here, data engineering kind of role. And we found it very difficult in order to train our AI models, AI and machine learning kind of models here. Because see, now the finally, when the data is processed, right, it will be shared, the data will be shared to multiple other teams here. Like you can see a BI team or a data scientist team also, data science here. Now, what this data scientist will do? So data scientists will use some kind of statistical approaches in order to come out with some kind of inferences. For example, when a new product will be launched in the market, right? So which of the customer segments can purchase this kind of product here? So such kind of statistical inferences they will be applying. Okay. So when if they have that kind of reliable data, only then they can apply some kind of statistical approaches and they can come out with the data here, patterns here. All right. Yes, of course, you see. Yes, it's an hybrid version here. And again, see, ML team, what this machine learning people will do? So machine learning people will find, like, say, for example, their job is to predict some kind of things here, prediction, forecasting, and again, classification. All right. Now, for example, let me ask you a simple question. In order to predict the some kind of things, right? So I need to have both the current data as well as the past data. That means historical data, we call it as. Now, because see, without that kind of data, can I predict any kind of thing here? No, right? Now, this kind of prediction mechanism is used in every such kind of domain today. So today, if you take it retail sales, like for example, now retail organizations wants to know, like for example, what could be the sales of Apple iPhones and again Samsung Galaxy phones next month here, or which of the phones might be having huge amount of sales here. All right. Or let's say, for example, if I launch a new product in the market, which of my customer segments can give me more amount of sales here? All right. So such kind of questions, I mean, so people want here, such kind of things, I mean, so the organizations are looking out for in the data actually. Okay. So that is why they require professionals who have knowledge in both of these aspects here. Not only this data management and data flow kind of process, but also in this end user kind of process here. And again, if you take the AI kind of team, right? AI team. So what this AI people will do, artificial intelligence. And so they apply all this kind of data in order to train their models here. So for example, as I told you, Chat GPT. Now Chat GPT, how come they're rolling out this Chat GPT, Google Gemini, or even Grok? I mean, Elon Musk, right? Okay, so I mean Grok. All right. So they have trained that particular models from the huge amounts of data that is available, I mean, publicly actually. All right. Only then it is able to give you such kind of information. All right. Now, for example, now if I ask it, for example, if you open any kind of, I mean, AI assistant, right? And if I ask it some kind of question, it is able to give you the answer. But how come it is able to give you such kind of answer? Have you ever wondered? I mean, it has been trained on that particular data. All right. So if I ask it with the president of USA, I mean United States of America, of course everyone we know that one. But an AI assistant, how come it is able to tell you that one? So it has been trained on that particular aspect here. All right. So for which again we require some kind of data. Now he's going to give all this kind of data at data engineering only, right? Okay. Now, is the person actually who will be dealing with all this kind of data, okay, different forms of data, and he will be I mean, see the person actually who is going to build all this kind of data infrastructure here. And again, finally, he will be sharing or he will be like, for example, I mean, So he's the person actually who will be dealing with the real data actually, and he will be the sharing the data to multiple other kind of teams here. So this is the end-to-end kind of process flow here. So that is why today in a lot of organizations now they are looking out for professionals who can deal with this end-to-end kind of workflows. I mean, okay, so on cloud here actually. All right. So this is the entire process, guys. This is the entire process. Hope you people got some kind of understanding here. So now if you, like for example, now if I mean, tell you about this process, right? So I've break down this kind of things in two different ways, right? Now let me answer you what exactly people perform here. Now data engineering, as I told you, it deals with data extraction in various ways. Yes, because see, we have various formats here, right? So various ways or various formats here. All right. Then again, data data transformations here. All right. Data extraction in various formats, data transformations, and again, data loading patterns here. So we have different patterns here. Okay. So incremental loading. I mean, again, as I told you, batch loading. Okay. So stream kind of loading. Okay. So all this kind of loading patterns are there. So which we'll discuss practically in further sessions here. All right. So then these are the patterns here. And again, data management. All right. Data management and building data scalable. Okay. I can even tell in this way, scalable data infrastructure. All right. So building scalable data infrastructure on cloud. Okay. So I can even tell in this way. So on cloud. All right. So now all these kind of things are there. Okay. Now, once this process is done, right? When it comes to the data analytics part, right? Okay. Now here you have some kind of data here. Okay. So the data is now available in some kind of data lakes here on cloud here. Now what's next here? So let us try to understand. So when it comes to the case of data analytics, right? So first of all, you actually, I mean, finding patterns, patterns in the data. All right, finding patterns in the data. So that means, like, for example, here we found out, like, for example, what we do exactly in this data analytics is, so what are the data telling you about actually? So when it comes to the say, for example, as I told you, Walmart sales, right? So for example, I want to know, like, what is my data, sales data telling me about? So, okay. So for example, in order to find out that one, right? So I might have to dig deeper into the, like, for example, sales data. So what I do, for example, so what are the sales last week and this week here? Okay, so I want to find out some kind of patterns in this way. Or let's say, for example, what were the sales in the last quarter and this quarter? Or else, for example, what are the total sales from January 1st to till date here? All right. So such kind of patterns I'll be finding out in the data here. Okay. So here is where, I mean, I'll be performing some kind of patterns in the data. So, I mean, again, performing data analysis. All right. So through different ways here. Okay. So data analysis again, as I told you, now let's say, for example, I want to compare certain things here. All right. So data analysis involves a lot of things again. Okay. So like, for example, as I told you, I want to find out, like, for example, what are the sales in the last year compared to this year actually, or last quarter and this quarter. Or like, for example, because if you perform such kind of analysis, right? So then you can come to know whether you're making profits or you're into losses here. All right. So performing data analysis. And again, okay, communicating the results to end users. Now, how do you communicate the results to the end users? See, for example, now you perform some kind of data analysis things here. Okay. Now that means you found out some kind of things in the data. Now, how do you tell the same thing or how do you communicate the same thing to your end users? End users are the persons who are some kind of stakeholders, like, so for example, VPs of the organizations, some directors of the organizations. Okay. So where they can take some kind of decision kind of things here. Okay. Now, communicating means you visually tell them the data patterns here. Okay, so how do you communicate the results here? So through visual ways here. Okay. Visual ways here. That means you create some kind of reports. Okay. So reports and dashboards. Okay. So where it contains some kind of different kinds of charts here. Okay. So charts here. So for example, charts here. So for example, it could be some kind of bar chart. Okay. It could be some kind of pie chart. Okay. So let me also show you that one. Okay. So why we communicate the results, I mean, in a visual way, I also tell you that one. For example, now let us look at, I'm in some kind of dashboard here. So let me go with this one. For example, now, so this is done in some kind of Power BI kind of thing here. So for example, now rather than telling something or communicating something in the format of some kind of words, right? It is better if we tell in some kind of visual ways, right? So because there is a famous saying, right? An image is equivalent to 1,000 words here. An image is equivalent to 1,000 words here. So what do you mean by that one? Human brain can easily understand, I mean, morely into some kind of image kind of format rather than some kind of text and words here. All right. So it can easily understand the patterns. You can easily remember something through some kind of images, right? So that is why we actually communicate the results in some kind of visual ways here. So you see, this is some kind of pie chart here. So this is some kind of bar chart here. Okay. So this is some kind of horizontal stacked bars here. Okay. So again, likewise, you see, I mean, so these are called as KPIs. Key performance indicators here. Okay. So again, $2 billion here. So these are some kind of key performance indicators. So again, this one here. Okay. So likewise, if you communicate these results to the end users, right? So they can easily understand what exactly is happening in the data and what decisions they could take further actually. All right. So in order to come out with this kind of patterns, right? So first of all, you need to have some kind of reliable data. Reliable data in the sense, so who is going to give that reliable data? Again, as I told you, your data engineer only. All right. So as I told you this process, right? So we have discussed this kind of process here. Sorry. So this process here. Okay. So who is going to, I mean, build this kind of data infrastructure tomorrow? A data engineer. And again, see, finally, who is going to visually communicate the results to the users here? A BI team here. Now, for example, let me tell you, if you know all this kind of process, right? Both of this kind of process, right? Now tell me which organization won't hire you actually. Okay. So you know everything, right? So end-to-end kind of workflow, you know, I mean, so we're starting from data extraction to data process, data loading kind of patterns, building the scalable data infrastructures to visually communicating the results to the end users here. So when you know all these such kind of things, right? So that means here, not only the data engineering part, you know, you also know the data analysis part here, which we also call it as data analytics. All right. So now tell me, so who is not going to hire you? So that is why, I mean, see, you people are called by different names here. So data engineers or big data people also. Okay. So big data engineers, big data engineers. And let me tell you some kind of, I mean, a real time kind of proof, like, for example, so as you people are aware of not, I don't know, but again, World Economic Forum. Okay. So let me also show you some kind of future jobs history. So future jobs 2025 World Economic Forum here. Okay. So this is from United Nations, one part of United Nations. Okay. So World Economic Forum, as you people know this one. All right. So recently, this World Economic Forum has been conducted in Switzerland in the month of January this year. All right. And what insights they have given? Okay. So let me show you something. Future of Jobs Report 2025, the jobs of the future and the skills you need to get them. All right. So let me tell you a few interesting things about this one. Just read this one, guys. So some jobs are growing fast in percentage terms. Demand for roles driven by technological advancements such as artificial intelligence is quickly increasing. So these jobs include big data specialists. Now, who is the big data specialist? Who performs all this kind of things here? All right. Okay, so big data specialists, fintech engineers, and again, AI and machine learning specialists here. Now tell me, are you people in trend or not? Look at the proof now. Okay, so the World Economic Forum itself is telling you where all this, I mean, big giants will come and again discuss something, right? Elon Musk and Bill Gates, and again, so every such kind of industry, big wigs actually. All right. So now look at this one. Who is in demand actually now? because data is the real engine, guys. I mean, let me tell you, in today's world, I mean, whoever has lots of data, right, he will be ruling the world actually. Let me tell you, it's not any kind of country or something. Okay, so tech is ruling the world here, as you people know, technology, artificial intelligence. Okay, so now in order to deal with all those kind of things, right, you need to have data here. And a professional who can deal with the data will actually, I mean, so he can make out a lot of bucks here. Okay, so that is the kind of thing I'm telling you. Now look at the demand here. Okay, so I'll also show you some other kind of things also. I mean, okay. So, I mean, which jobs are into a lot of demand here? Okay. So now you came to know the importance of your role, right? Okay. So in an analytics team, something. Now let me also tell you some other things here. Now we have understood the process here, the entire process here. So let me also show you something. So as I told you, see, data engineers are the real people who actually deal with different kinds of data between other data teams here, actually. So data engineering. Okay, so this is the process. And if you look at the, I mean, like, so for example, the roles here, right? Who is, I mean, performing which kind of role here? So what is the importance of a data engineer? Okay, so people like you, okay, so in an analytics team here. Now we have data analysts, we have data scientists, we have ML people, we have AI people. Okay. But again, why this role is very important, now you came to know here. Okay. Now let us look at this one. So data engineer builds data pipelines to pull together data from different systems, validate and prepare high quality data, aids data scientists in integrating, consolidating, and cleansing data. All right. So this process we have understood. Now, what is data scientist? What these people will do? So data scientists need reliable data for machine learning, reliable data, data exploration, and other analytical projects involving large data sets here. All right. Data scientists may rely on data engineers to find and prepare data for their analysis. So they rely on data engineers here. Okay. Now let me tell you, see, so look at this process once again, this entire process or workflow here. Now, who is actually building the entire, I mean, data infrastructure here? A data engineer, right? So on the other hand, now tell me if you know both the things here, data engineering part and again the data analysis part, right? Okay. Now tell me which organization wouldn't hire you across the globe here. So you also, I mean, see, I also show you some kind of proof here, right? So the World Economic Forum itself is saying that you people are into demand actually because we have data everywhere you see. Every organization, if you see today in the world, I mean, across the globe here, they have data. LinkedIn has a lot of data. Share markets or stock markets has a lot of data with them. All right. Banking and financial, I mean, financial sectors have lots of data with them. All right. So telecom organizations have lots of data with them. All right. Manufacturing companies have lots of data with them. So likewise, if you take it right, there are lots and lots of data here. And these organizations require people like you who can perform, I mean, multiple kind of roles here. Okay. Who can deal with the data in multiple ways here and again come out with some kind of meaningful insights from the data. So the process, the data engineering process plus the data analytics kind of process here. So combinedly, okay. So you people will be having a lot of demand here actually. And again, let me also show you now why we need to focus on Azure. Okay. So the last thing also tell you because see today if you take it right, we have Azure, we have AWS here, we have again GCP. Okay. Again, we have Oracle Cloud, IBM Cloud. Again, so a lot of cloud players are there. Why? But why we need to focus on this Azure? Let me tell you. See, now you people know Forbes magazine, right? So which always, so they people come out with some kind of billionaires. I mean, so they tell about some kind of billionaires and again some kind of, something. Okay, so in the market here. Now these people have told something. So why Microsoft Azure could take the cloud lead from Amazon AWS by 2026 here. So now what you could understand from this one, so that means more amount of jobs will be there on this kind of platform tomorrow. Okay, so Microsoft Azure here. Okay, so because let me tell you something, guys. See, now things have got rapidly changed here. Okay, so when Microsoft has joined hands with OpenAI, okay, so when they have rolled out some kind of product in the market like ChatGPT, all right, ChatGPT, as you people know, right, ChatGPT. Now let me tell you. So, like for example, so Microsoft has bet huge into this kind of market here. Okay, so AI, cloud kind of things, and the data kind of market here, and their platform. Okay, so Azure kind of cloud platform is very, I mean, like for example, very cheaper kind of solutions you have. And again, all the kind of data problems you're facing, right? Okay, you can have solution on Azure, gives you the solution for all your data problems here. All right. So that is their kind of platform we have actually. All right. So this is the reason why today, I mean, across the globe, if you take it, right? Okay. So why, I mean, we have trend, I mean, Azure is trending like anything here. Okay. So that means in the near future also, you can see there are a lot of jobs into this kind of Azure kind of market here. All right. So right now also, if you see, there are a lot of jobs into this kind of things here. All right. So let me also show you
Vamshi,
the other things here. Yes.
before going to the jobs, can you just help us with the cloud Azure cloud platform? What options we
Yes.
have?
Yes.
Just maybe
I'll also
just
show you
a
that.
small step. Yeah, data extraction, how this can be extracted,
Just a minute.
so
I'll
that we
also
all
show you
have a
that.
better.
Yes.
Thank you.
Right.
Team, so far we have a good understanding about the structured data, unstructured data, and also the differences between data analyst and a data engineer, what we will be doing in that particular role. Now let us get into the real-time insights. When you join the organization, how the platform is going to look like, how do we extract the data with some hands-on activity. Let's wait for a couple of seconds while Vamshi is starting his cloud instance.
Yes. Yes. Just a minute. Right. So if you look at, so this is your Azure portal. So, I mean, so when you create your Azure account, right? So the Azure cloud portal, so looks something in this way. And again, let me tell you, there are different kinds of services available on Azure platform, cloud platform. So you see the services are categorized here in different ways here. Okay. So as you can see, AI and machine learning. So when it comes to the AI and machine learning, so these are the services you could even, I mean, see, you have to know how to use these kind of services in order to come out with some kind of different kinds of things here. So for example, I told you about OpenAI, right? You can also have this kind of service as well. Azure OpenAI. Guys, just give me a minute. All right. So that means you could also come out with some kind of chat bot similar to Chat GPT kind of application. You could also build such kind of application here. All right. And when it comes to the case of analytics, so this is where you people will be working tomorrow. So in the analytics kind of field here, so we'll be using certain services on Azure here. So like data factories and again data lakes and Databricks, again Fabric analytics and again Power BI kind of things. Okay, you have this Power BI also. So where you perform this data analytics part here, data analysis part here. So likewise, you have different kinds of services here. And again, so it is very simple in order to deal with such kind of data here. So let me tell you with a small example on how you can deal with some kind of data here. So for example, let me go to this home kind of thing. So first of all, you need to create some kind of workflow here. So how do you build the concept of pipeline? And see, let me show you how you can even move some kind of data. Okay, so from some kind of source to other kind of target here. So I'll show you a very interesting thing here. So just pay your attention here. So what we'll be doing exactly here. So the first thing is you need to have some kind of storage account. Okay. So what I'll be doing, I'm creating some kind of storage account here. So storage account in the sense where you will be storing some kind of data here on Azure cloud here. Okay. So let me come out with that one. So do not worry. I mean, it's okay. All these kind of options we'll discuss in the later part here. Okay. So as of now, just let me show you how you can work in real world, what you will be doing in real world scenarios here. So this is one of the storage account, guys. So as you can see, the deployment is complete. That means I have created some kind of resource on my Azure cloud now. So where I'll be maintaining or I'll be storing some kind of data here actually. So data will be stored in this storage container. So let me give it some kind of name. So let me create it. All right. So now what I'll do is I'll upload some kind of data manually from my, local system here. So for example, let me go with some kind of data here. Okay. So like, so for example, office supplies and again, products here. All right. You can even store different types of data also. I'll also show you that one. See, it will also help you. As I told you, right now, it can even help you store different types of data. So JSON data, text file, and again, you have something called as a parquet file. All right. So different kinds of data you can store it here. So look at this one. I have now CSV file. I have a parquet file here. And again, I have text file here. So this is some kind of JSON file here. Okay. So which are into different kinds of formats here. Now what I'll do, I'll create a pipeline and I'll show you how you can move some kind of data here actually. Okay, so from source and to some kind of target here. So in the data warehousing systems that we have discussed, right? So we speak actually in terms of source and target here. Okay, source is nothing but these are your data sources here. It could be SQL table or it could be any other kind of things here. Target will be your data warehouse. So in our Azure cloud, what I'm doing is now my source is some kind of blob storage, which we'll discuss it later. What exactly is a blob storage? And again, target is some kind of data lake storage where the primary kind of data will be stored in your data lakes here. So again, inside this data lakes, I need to create a container, target lake, I'll call it as. Now this is empty here. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll actually use a pipeline to move the data from that source. Okay. So which is available in this blob here to this data lake here. Okay. Now what you have to do is you require some kind of service called as Azure Data Factory here. Okay. So data factory. Now this is where you'll be building the concept of a data pipeline here. So first of all, let us build this data factory. Let us create this one. All right. So now let me first create this service on my Azure cloud. Then I can use this service here. See, whatever you have to do, first of all, you have to create that particular service here. Then you have to use that kind of service. So this is how things work on cloud here. So now it's done here. So what I'll do, I'll go back, to my data factory. See, this is my data factory here. Now what I'll do, you need to click on Launch Studio. All right. So once, like, for example, the data, see, once you've created this data factory, right? Okay. The first thing is now, first of all, in order to create a pipeline, right? The first thing is we need to create connections to our source and target here. So because see, I have to extract the data from this particular blob storage. Okay. So that is why I have to create a connection to this blob storage here. Okay. So this is my resource group here. So I have to create some kind of connection here. Okay. Again, let me also tell you something. My blob storage, I would stored it in some kind of I mean, area. I'll also show you that one. See, let me show you redundancy. So my data is located in this particular region now, East US. So typically in cloud, what happens is data will be actually stored by the cloud service providers in some kind of data centers. We call them as data centers. Okay. So that means my data is now located in this particular region actually. All right. So likewise. Now what I'll do. So let me go back here. I'll create some kind of connection here to my source and target. See, now let me show you how many connections from where you can extract the data. I'll even break down this into some categories here. So if at all you want to extract the data from other Azure services, right? So these are all the services you have actually. Okay. For as of now, let us try to, let me show you this databases. See, you have databases. Azure has support with almost all 100 plus different kinds of services, guys. Almost all 200 services here. That means it has 200 connectors to help you to connect to any kind of data source today and pull the data from that kind of data source here. All right. Whether it is a file, whether it is some kind of web kind of source, whether it is any other kind of cloud also. Like, for example, if you see here, Amazon RDS. So this is from AWS. Okay. Amazon Redshift, Apache Impala, IBM DB2, Drill, Google Ads, Google BigQuery, HP Greenplum, HBase, Apache Hive, IBM Informix, MariaDB, Microsoft Access, MySQL, Netezza, Oracle, Phoenix, PostgreSQL, Presto, SAP kind of sources here. And again, you have SQL Server, Snowflake, Spark, Sybase, Teradata, Vertica. I mean, these are all the databases. I hope some of you have not even heard about this kind of data bases, right? Again, generic protocols where you can extract the data from web here. Files means, so from different kinds of file sources like data lakes and everything. NoSQL, which are the popular kind of databases and big data kind of services here. And again, if you look at services and apps, right? So Asana, this is one of the project managers. So they use this kind of tool here. Again, see Dynamics 365 platform, which are some kind of CRM kind of systems here. GitHub. Now you people know GitHub, right? So which is one of the popular kind of open source kind of community, developer communities here. And again, HubSpot, Jira, Magento, Marketo, okay, Office Suite, Microsoft Office Suite, PayPal, your currency kind of platform, online currency platform, PayPal. And again, QuickBooks, QuickBase, SAP kind of sources. Again, Salesforce kind of marketing clouds. Okay, Shopify, your online platform, e-commerce platform, Shopify. And again, Smartsheet, Square, Teamdesk, Twilio, Webtable. Okay, so you have support with different kinds of data sources now. Okay, but let me tell you, what is the kind of where is my data available now? So it is available on blob storage, which is again on Azure cloud itself. Okay, so I'll point out to my blob here. So I'll connect to this one. So first of all, let me establish some kind of connection here. So I'll call it as some kind of, I'll give it some kind of name here, blob. Yes, of course. I'll also tell you now the Lakehouse kind of platform I've shown you, right? So that is what is Databricks here. All right. I've told you this one, right? Databricks kind of platform, the Lakehouse kind of platform you design here. This one, Lakehouse kind of platform. It's a unified kind of platform. So where, see, I've even shown you this kind of image, right? So this is where you actually build this kind of data infrastructure on top of Databricks only. All right. So which we'll discuss it later, what exactly happens in those kind of areas actually. All right. So now let me show you. So even in order to work on Databricks also, first you need to have a data pipeline. So where you need to have a data first of all. So that is what I'm showing you here. Okay. So blob again, let me go with the connector here. So, need not worry, guys. So, what the steps I'm doing? So, these are the steps again you will be learning in detail. Okay. But as of now, let me show you something. So, how you can build a pipeline, how you can move the data here. So, I've successfully established a connection to my source data. Now, what I'll do, similarly, I also need to have connection to my data lake here because data lake is where that is my target kind of system where I need to load the data. All right. All right, guys. So now I'm done with this kind of connections here. The next thing is let me build a pipeline now. So I'll show you in a quick way how now you to build the pipeline here. So this is called as copy data tool. So what is your source here? It is a blob storage. So you have different kinds of storages here. Okay. So blob storage here. And again, we have created some kind of connector here, right? So we need to go with the connector here. Then I need to browse my file. So where I want to, which file I want to move the data. So let's say, for example, let us go with some kind of products.csv. Okay, so products here. So click OK. And again, once again, let me click next here. See, automatically my ADF is very clear. It will read some kind of file settings here. So what kind of file it is, and again, what kind of delimiter this particular file is having. Even you can even preview the data from here also. Okay, you can even look at the data here. Not infrastructure as a code. This is purely UI part here. Okay, so you do not involve in all those kind of activities. Okay. Now again, the destination part where you want to load the data. Okay, you need to select that one. Okay, so data lake storage here. Again, I'll be going with this data lake here. And again, so browse here. Okay, so where you want to load this one. So into my target container here. That is data lake container. So click OK. And once again, click OK here. All right. So now, see, again, I want to click next here. So I need to rename my pipeline. So for example, let me give it some kind of name here, copy products from block to data lake. All right. So click next here. See, now before I click next here, I'll show there is nothing inside my target container here. Okay. So as of now, I do not have any kind of data. So once I run my pipeline, you can see the data here. Okay. So that means you're moving the data from Azure Blob Storage to data lake storage here. Okay. So now again, click next here. My pipeline is getting executed here. So once it is successful, now you can see the data. Okay. So all of these things are successful here. Click finish here. But again, you need to also look out for the monitor kind of tab also. So see your pipeline is still in running mode actually. Let me refresh it. It's still running. All right. Okay. So as you can see, the pipeline is successful here. Now let me go back to my data lake container. So previously it was empty, right? Okay. So now let me refresh this one. See products.csv. Got it now? Okay. So now you can click on this one. And let's say, for example, if you click on edit, right, you can see the data here. See. So this is a simple workflow on how you can move the data, create a pipeline and move the data from a source system to a target system here. All right. So likewise, you will be connecting to different kinds of sources. And again, you will be ingesting all of those kind of data sources into your data lake environment here. Okay. Now, how to connect them? I've shown you I've shown you the different connectors, right? So you connect them in such way. And of course, need not worry. So this is just to show you some kind of for example, a simple workflow, but in detail, we'll be learning it in our later sessions here. So what are the steps that you need to follow in order to build a pipeline here? Then how do you analyze some kind of
just a file? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just I was about to ask you, how do you analyze this data on the Power BI? Just a final
Yes,
ask.
yes, yes. So that is what that was my next step here. Okay, so let me show you. So Power BI desktop. Now the same thing. All right. So click on blank report. And now what I'll do is, see, you need to get the data here as well. So Power BI also helps you to connect to different kinds of data sources. Now I have data which is stored in my data lake, right? I'll also show you. See, you have categories here. If I click on this one, I have this kind of data which is stored in, see, Azure Data Lake Storage here. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll go to this file here. Again, for example, so here is my products, right? Okay, so this is how your data looks like actually. Okay, now I'll click on load here first of all. All right, so now you can see the data has been loaded into your Power BI system. So whatever this, some kind of numbers you're seeing, right? So those are numerical fields here. I'll tell you, Dilip. Okay, I'll tell you. What exactly those things are, I'll tell you. Okay. Now, some are see. Now, as I told you in your data, you have both the numerical fields as well as the categorical fields also. So this discontinued, again, product name, quantity. Okay, so these are all category kind of data. And again, these, I mean, whatever the things you're able to see here, right? So these are some kind of numerical kind of data. Now, let's say, for example, I want to see what are the different kinds of products and their unit prices here. Okay, so for example, what I'll do, I'll go with product name here. And see, I'll select this product name here. And again, I'll also select this unit price here. All right. See, so this is some kind of text kind of data it is able to generate with this kind of format. But again, here you have some kind of data here, right? So let's say, for example, I'll go with some kind of data here. Okay, I'll click on the chart type and you can see some kind of chart in this way. All right. Similarly, you can even change this kind of chart also. For example, let me tell you, I'll also take some other kind of chart here. Okay, so for example, uh, okay, the same kind of product name I'll go. So for example, let me just drag this donut chart here. Okay, so this donut chart here. All right. So then what I'll do, I'll go with the product name here. And again, units in stock here. All right. So see how simple it is to analyze some kind of data. Okay. So once you have the data, reliable data here. All right. Fine. Then there is also some other kind of feature in Power BI. Okay. So let me also show you. Okay. So that is called as question and answer. So this is some kind of AI feature, guys. Okay. Now, so I'll ask it some kind of questions. So which product has the highest unit price here? Okay. Or product name. Sorry. Highest unit price. Okay. This one. So for example, if you look at, right, see, this is giving me some time, some kind of name here actually. Okay. So likewise, for example, product name with units in stock here. So if I go in this way, right? So again, if I click in this way, so it will again show me some kind of bar chart here. I haven't created this one, right? I have simply asked it some kind of question. So which is an AI feature in Power BI. Okay, artificial intelligence kind of feature in Power BI. So likewise, like say for example, I can ask it multiple questions here. So for example, I want to see the quantity per unit. Okay, so product name with quantity per unit. Quantity. Okay, so per unit here. So again, it will show me some kind of things in this way. Or else, like say for example, I want to even see unit price here. Okay, so unit price or units in stock here. Unit price here. All right. So again, it will show me some kind of image in this way. All right. So look at how simple it is to analyze some kind of data once you have some kind of data which has been properly cleaned and formatted here. All right. So now,
Sir, excuse me, sir. This is Ivan. I have a question, real quick
yes,
question. You were going to connect to the data factory and the data warehouse, the
yes,
Azure
of
data
course.
factory, and
Yes, in
right.
our
But this is
real-time workflows,
okay.
yes, of course. In our real-time workflows, I'll show you how you can connect this to your Azure Data Factory or else even your Azure Data Lake Storage and how you can pull the records here. So
Okay.
that platform, I mean, we have it something called as, I mean, Microsoft Fabric platform here. Okay. So I'll show you on Microsoft Fabric here. Okay. So individually, if at all you want to analyze any kind of data, so this is how you connect to Azure cloud here. And again, you can connect to your Power BI kind of platform here. You can analyze some kind of reports. So, but as I told you, right, you can even pull out records from your data lake storage and something. So we'll also work on that one practically in our sessions here. All right. So this is how you can even, I mean, create any such kind of reports, guys. So once you have some kind of reliable data with you, you can play with your data. All right. Okay, if you hover your mouse again, it will give you some kind of names here. Okay, so you can see there are different kinds of product suits here. Fine. So this is how you can analyze something. And again, see, once you have this knowledge here, like how to build this data infrastructure and again, how to analyze the data. So you know, I mean, so you will become some kind of full stack data engineer kind of role here. Okay, so where you know end-to-end kind of things here. So right from the data extraction to the data analysis kind of part. I mean, so when you know all these kind of skills here, so things get, I mean, different here. Okay, so you get a lot of opportunities. You will be qualified for a lot of jobs and opportunities here. Now, what the need of Python and Spark here? So let me tell you. Now, you have unstructured data with you, and someone I think even asked me about Database platform here. Okay, let me tell you about that one. Now, you have lots of unstructured data with you. Okay, now all of the data will not be dealt in the same way, right? Yes. So will you people agree this one? So for example, what I mean to say is now I have some kind of SQL data with me. Now, if there is SQL, right, I can go with SQL queries here. All right. So that means if I have some kind of structured data, I can, convert that data into something called as a SQL and I can play with that one. Or else what I can do, I can import it in the format of a CSV. I can even ingest and I can even deal with that one. But what about JSON data? What about Parquet? And what about some other kind of format here? So that is where you go with the concept of this Lakehouse kind of platform, which you build on the concept of this Databricks platform. So this Lakehouse kind of platform, we actually, build this data infrastructure on Databricks platform here. And again, let me tell you something. See, on Databricks, right? Databricks itself will be running on Apache Spark cluster here. Apache Spark cluster. Okay. So Databricks itself will be running on. Databricks runs on Apache Spark cluster. All right, Apache Spark cluster. So that means you can leverage the complete features and complete flexibility of Spark kind of ecosystem here. And again, let me tell you now, how do you handle data or how you deal with the data on this Apache Spark clusters or Databricks platform is you go with Python and Apache Spark here. Okay, so that is why in our course also we'll be learning something about Python and Apache Spark here. We have separate sessions for this one. Almost all 10 sessions we have on this Python and Apache Spark. So where I'll be showing you how to perform data analysis using this PySpark kind of things here. Okay. So it is a win-win kind of session because this is where our students actually have secured jobs by learning this kind of concept here. So almost all 32 students till date have placed actually from different batches. But again, so I can tell you, so this is where they have actually won the interviews actually, because in interviews, they'll be testing you on these kind of things here. And these sessions are very, very important. Okay. So in our data engineering kind of things here, and we have a very good kind of, turnaround on this kind of concepts here. Okay. Now, Databricks helps you with different APIs. On Databricks, you can work with Python, you can work with Spark, you can work with SQL, all right, Java, R kind of language, everything, Scala also. Okay. But traditionally, so what we'll be doing is, most number of times, so people work on using this two APIs popularly, Python and Spark here. Because why Python and Spark? Let me tell you, Python and Spark has almost all, first of all, they're open source kind of libraries. So which have support to any kind of formats here. So that means you can deal with any kind of data here. So whether it is batch loads, streaming kind of data loads, or any other kind of data loads, it can easily help you to perform some kind of data jobs here. All right. So that is why we go with this kind of PySpark kind of jobs on a Databricks kind of platform. And the Lakehouse kind of platform, I told you, right? The Delta Lakes, Delta tables, everything will be dealing with using this PySpark kind of things only. All right. So this is how you need to understand. And someone has asked me Microsoft Fabric here. Microsoft Fabrics is a collective environment. Now, traditionally, if you look at, right, what is this Microsoft Fabric platform? I'll tell you. Now, in this data engineering kind of thing, we have some kind of important services like Azure Data Factory. All right. So, where it is used to build the concept of this data pipelines. Again, Azure Databricks. Databricks is especially used to deal big data, and again streaming kind of data loads, and again some different kinds of loads, and again Lakehouse kind of architectures here. Again, we have Azure Synapse Analytics. All right, Azure Synapse Analytics. But again, let me tell you, and this Synapse Analytics, Databricks platform is not a proprietary tool of Microsoft Azure, guys. Databricks is a tool from Databricks Corporation Inc. here. Okay, so again, see, Databricks is some kind of software or tool you can understand, which is actually hosted on top of this cloud kind of platforms, whether you take it Azure, AWS, GCP, or anything. All right. So that means these people, Azure, even AWS and GCP, they have to pay for Databricks in order to use their services here. Now, so Microsoft had also this kind of product suite here called as Synapse Analytics, where again, what are the things you could perform using Data Factory and Databricks, you could collectively perform using Synapse Analytics, one single kind of platform. But again, let me tell you, the only limitation with this kind of Synapse Analytics is it is very costly actually. Okay. So very costly or very expensive. Very expensive. So that is why now what Microsoft has done actually. So because I mean, if you take the companies, right? Now companies or organizations across the globe, so what they want to perform all this kind of jobs in a cheaper way, right? Okay. So that is why Microsoft has planned some kind of ecosystem in such a way that so the first thing is they do not want to rely on other kind of data vendors like this Databricks or some other kind of vendors here. And they came out with some kind of architecture. Okay, so where you can see this Microsoft Fabric is nothing but it is an extension to this Synapse Analytics here. I'll also show you that one here. Can you even understand here? Okay. So this is an extension to your Synapse kind of thing. So where will be working again? So it is an end-to-end kind of platform again. Okay. So you can perform any kind of thing here. Coupled, I mean, powered with AI kind of features here. Okay. So data factory. And again, you have data engineering kind of, kind of product suite also, data science, data warehouse, real-time analytics, Power BI, data activator. So much of this kind of concept, I'll tell you in later session. That means tomorrow or day after tomorrow. So I also advise you people to connect tomorrow and day after tomorrow as well. So take all these free sessions here. So which we are giving you the first 3 sessions for free of cost. Try to understand the concepts here. So because see, I'll tell you much more things about Microsoft Fabric in tomorrow's session here because time is not sufficient now. So only the thing I'm telling you is it is an extension to this kind of service here, Azure Synapse Analytics here. So the only overhead or only the disadvantage or limitation of these services, it is very expensive. That is why out of 10 organizations, hardly 2 to 3 organizations use this kind of service here. So, I mean, 6 to 7 organizations, they actually work on this data factory and database here. Now Microsoft has thought something. Okay, so why to rely on other kind of cloud vendors here? So that is why they came up with their own kind of product suite here. So that is called as Microsoft Fabric. All right, Microsoft Fabric. And now AWS is also trying to launch a similar service to this Microsoft Fabric here. Okay, where they want to give their own kind of product suites here. So that is about this Microsoft Fabric, where again you can perform end-to-end kind of things here. You have Power BI, you have everything here. All right. So now let me take your questions here. All right. Okay.
Anyone, any questions? Please feel free to ask. Vamshi, first of all, I want to thank you for just going in detail. You just nailed it. Thank you very much for bringing a lot of insights in the short amount of time. I know you're rushing here and there, but just in order to accommodate, that's the only way to go. But let's. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. Vamshi is here, so just please make most use of this session. Isi, you have any question?
Yes,
Guys,
of course.
you, yes.
Vamsi, thank you very much. Data to me was Greek and Latin before this session. And I am a student of Lakshmi from last 3 years. I've been attending a lot of his courses. And thanks to
Okay.
Lakshmi's coaching, I've got a job as well at this stage, which, well, I'm trying to get a new job as well. This is a bit overwhelming for me just to get an understanding of, mind you, excuse my ignorance because I don't have no idea about data, just to understand data warehouse, data lakes, lake house, and then we shifted into, I know you were trying to just give us a high level understanding of what a data engineer does. I was trying to understand how AWS is different to Azure. And when you said the Forbes are claiming that Azure is going to be the future, that's a big statement, isn't it? Why are they saying
Yes.
this? And how much of an impact is it going to have on the data engineers and the data analytics in the near future?
All right. So good question. So let me answer you in this way. See, first of all, Azure has some kind of robust kind of data platform here, meaning now what are the data implementations you want to perform on AWS or Azure? So let me tell you in this way. If AWS charges you, for example, $100, right? Azure will almost
Mhm.
all charge you $20 to $30 here. And again, organizations also wants this kind of service here. So where they can implement their data, I mean, jobs here in much cheaper way, actually. So that is where AWS and even so Azure has a lot of differences here in the market actually. All right. So when it comes to this one, right? So let me also show you something. See, organizations look out for different factors, right? And of course, this is also one of the reasons actually why organizations are moving to Azure cloud here. Because see, now AWS is also giving you same kind of services here. Even Azure is also offering you the same kind of services here. But in terms of implementation, in terms of cost wise, right? Okay, so which is very cheaper here? Azure is cheaper here actually. And again, so as I told you, after they joined hands with OpenAI, right? So you know, people know, right? Okay, OpenAI. So they have rolled out even ChatGPT kind of product here. Okay, so things got rapidly changed here because they have bet huge on this AI field here, artificial intelligence kind of field, where they're giving you all this AI workloads on Azure platform. You can't find this OpenAI services on AWS kind of platform. So that is another advantage in Azure actually. All right. And when it comes to the case of jobs, right? So as you can see, who is the leader here actually? Even let me show you. For example, even you can search here. For example, you might be from different parts of the globe here actually. Everyone, I ask you people, I mean, I'm requesting you people to search for some kind of Azure jobs in your location here. Okay. So Azure data engineer. Okay. So jobs. Okay. So where from?
Oh,
Australia.
Australia.
Australia. Okay. I think we have seek.com there. Okay. So this is where you can see. Apart from LinkedIn, I'm showing you. Okay. So all these are.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you can see even different locations here. Okay. Now, let me tell you, see, almost all 680 jobs here. I don't think so. The jobs should be even more actually. Okay, fine. Let me even look at some kind of JDs here. And again, I'll also come with your questions, guys. I'll answer your questions here. Okay. Now look at this job description here. So what things they're asking you, and we are giving you all this kind of services here. Okay. So you'll be learning complete end-to-end kind of things here. All right. So for example, now, experience as a data engineer working with Azure Cloud and Azure integration services across multiple deployment environments here, and SQL and proficiency in Python and or Java here. Okay, so anyways, you'll be learning Python here. SQL, of course, we'll also be starting with SQL. And again, after the end of this course here, I'll tell you the CI/CD process here. Okay, so once you know all this kind of services, right? Okay, so tell me, so why? Companies won't hire you actually. So you have a lot of opportunities here, right? And again, even the pay structure also you look at it. Okay, you can see the differences here. So what is the pay that they are giving you actually? See, I told you something about data lake storage. That is ADLS Gen 2, Azure Data Factory, Synapse Analytics. Okay, so now it is Fabric here. Data and Fabric also. Look at this one. You're getting this Fabric service is a very new kind of service here. No one knows about Fabrics here. Okay, but if you tell them in interviews that I've even worked on Fabrics, now look at the advantage that you'll be having actually. All right. Second, Power BI. So they are asking you some kind of data visualization tools such as Tableau or Power BI. Of course, you'll be learning Power BI, right? So once you know this end-to-end kind of thing, you will become a full stack data engineer kind of professional here. Okay.
What if
So
you
where you
don't
know
know?
data engineering
Sorry.
process and again the data analytics kind of process here. Okay. Now look at this one.
See, I've never done coding, so how hard it is or how easy it is going to be to learn Python and start application.
Okay. Let me tell you, you will
Yeah.
really find it fun to learn Python. It is
Oh,
very,
really?
very
Okay.
simple, guys. Because I'm not telling that you need to join this course here. Okay. We have almost not completed 10 plus batches here. And a lot of our students also have secured jobs, just like you people. Okay. So even they do not had some kind of knowledge into, this Python or something. So they have mastered it and they have jobs here now. Okay. Let me tell you, it is simple to learn Python.
All right.
Fair
Thanks,
enough.
Sisi.
One
Yes.
other question. Sorry, sir. Vamsi, if you can please go back to the notepad you were sharing with us in relation to a data engineer, please.
Yes.
No, not this one. No, I think the first one. Yeah, the first tab. Do you know how in the data, under the data engineering, you said data extraction in various formats, data transformations and data loading, that is to deal with data warehouse, right? And when it comes to data lakes and lake houses, will be data extraction, then loading, and then transformation. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
I
here
just
on
wanted to
cloud
make
will
sure that
be
my understanding is right. Yeah.
Yeah, so here on cloud, we'll be replacing that data warehousing patterns with data lakehouses. So here our primary storage kind of thing will be data lake sets. Okay, so instead of data warehouses, we'll be going with the data lake kind of concept here. So now first you ingest this data So using a pipeline, you store all such kind of data into data lake repository. So data lake is a huge repository. As I told you, you can store different amounts of data and different formats of data. So as I shown you practically, right? So here in my Azure
Yeah.
account here.
Yeah.
So you can see this one. So for example,
Yes.
let me go here, see. So you have different types of data here. For example, see, you have CSV, you have Parquet, you have text file, you
Correct.
have JSON, you have Parquet, everything. But in traditional data warehouses, it won't support these many kind of formats. You have to compulsorily convert them into some kind of structured kind of format. That means a table kind of format. That's it.
Yeah.
There is no other way there.
Sure. One quick feedback, Vamsi. You're a guru on what you're doing, and you know these things left, right, and center. A person like me, this is. I think if you can slow down a bit, that would be really helpful. Just a
Sure,
request.
sure, sure.
If you can.
Guys, I
Because
mean, so let me
I'm
tell
trying.
you.
Yeah, I'm trying to take whatever you're trying to teach us, but it's too
Yeah.
hard for me to take in the first
Because
go.
see, let me tell you, this is not a small kind of things I need to share you because there are a lot of things I need to share with you people. So that is why on the first day I was a little bit rushing actually. But let me tell you, I mean, even so, as I requested you people to join tomorrow also. So again, I will discuss some other things in a detailed way actually. All right.
Sure.
So
Sure.
how you
Thank you,
can
sir.
take, I mean, yeah.
Right. So this is just more of an initial intro, more of an awareness kind of a session. Let me tell you that just what our role is going to be when we take this training, how exactly we are, what exactly we will be doing, what is the kind of environment, what kind of skills we need to build. That's the main purpose of this first day class. But when we do the actual deep diving, when we start from the basics, of course, it's going to be slow and a lot of hands-on activities also Vamshi will be giving, and we all will be mastering the Azure and latest skills towards the end of the training. That's the goal. Thank you,
No,
Z,
thank you.
for honest
Thank you.
feedback.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
thank
thank you
you.
so much, sir. I'm very much excited to join. Just the timing, I will talk to you about this later anyways.
No
Thank you.
problem at all. All good. And for your information, each and every live class also will be recorded. So I already sent you the email with the Zoom link and the Google Drive link. Yeah, for the people who registered. If any of you are planning to register, please message me on my WhatsApp. If any of you joined some because this message has gone into different groups as well. So my name is Lakshmi +614125163664. This is my WhatsApp number. Just message me on my WhatsApp number. I will be able to share you the class recording as well, which is really good. And then I can also add you to the Google Drive. Okay, team. Anyone, any questions? Ivan, you have a question? Good evening.
No, good evening. So I had the question, so I asked it, so I was answered. That's it. Thank
You're
you.
good? You
Yeah,
enjoyed,
yeah.
Ivan?
Very good. Yes, we enjoyed it.
Very good. That's good. That's good. Just more about an initial intro. Anil from
Yeah,
USA.
yeah. Lakshmi, yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah. The data lake is like the way I saw the picture, the flow of
Hmm.
I mean where the data gets injected and the data lake storage is where we kind of stage the data, right? I mean, and from there we're going to transform the data into uh, is that a correct statement or I mean
Yes,
I
yes,
think
yes, of course, Anil. That is right. That is right.
You're getting gist of it, Anil. Correct. Yep.
because I kind
So
of my background is Informatica ETL and I work with Informatica Cloud and kind of little bit of Azure as well. But I mean, I kind of brushing up my skills. It was like 2 years back. I worked in Azure in a similar
All
area.
right.
So
Okay. Fine. So you see, there are a lot of jobs in across the globe, not just I mean limited to one particular region or country here. So you see, there are a lot of jobs on this kind of Azure data engineering and again data analytics. I mean, so you see, lot of jobs are there. Only on LinkedIn, 12,000 plus jobs only in United States. Wow. Okay, so you can see the figure here.
yeah.
Correct. So again, India, of course, you have a lot of jobs in India as well.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Again, I'll also show you some UK and again other parts of the globe as well. So you can see the
Can you hear
market
me?
here. So what is the market for Azure? Right. So
Vamshi,
787
let's
jobs.
take some
Yes.
questions from the other students as well, and we'll
Yes,
go
yes,
to the
of course,
jobs. Yeah.
of course.
Thank,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Vamsi. Thanks, Lakshmi. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Anil.
Hi guys, can you hear
So
me?
anyone? Oh yes,
Hi, can
Kiran.
you hear
Yeah,
me?
good. Go ahead, Kiran.
Not this is Mohammed.
Oh, Mohammed. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Yeah. All right. So as part of this data analytics team, data engineering team. So we're collecting the data using from the different sources, and we're creating the pipeline on the data of Azure Factory, and then we are sending it. We're connecting it to a target. Now, exactly where does the data engineer actually play their role? Because I know the analytics people, they deal with the Power BI and stuff. The data scientists, they will deal with the ML and AI stuff, the data for that. How about the data engineer? What do we actually do?
All right. So let me tell you, now you told me something about that we'll be connecting to some kind of different kinds of data sources. You will be ingesting that data into the data lakes here. And again, so data engineer performs all these kind of activities. So as I told you, he will be the person who will be going to build this kind of data infrastructure here. And again, also involves in some kind of data analysis kind of roles here. Like, so for example, how to analyze the data using some kind of different kinds of tools here, like Power BI, Tableau, or some other kind of concepts here. All right. So we'll be involving in all this kind of end-to-end kind of activities. So we'll be the person who will be even building some kind of transformation part or analyzing some kind of data, processing some kind of data using Databricks, using PySpark and some other kind of activities. Okay. So all these kind of things a data engineer is responsible and will be doing actually.
Gotcha. So during this course, will we ever use like NumPy or Pandas in Python
Okay,
to
okay. Let me
pre-process
tell
the
you,
data?
NumPy and
Yeah.
Pandas are related to data analysis part in Python kind of things. But here, the data analysis part will be dealing with Apache Spark here. So NumPy
Gotcha.
and Pandas are not required in data engineering kind of thing. So, but I mean, so those kind of things are used in data science and machine learning kind of part there. So now data
Okay, so we're
engineering
gonna
part
use
will be going
PySpark.
with Apache Spark, PySpark.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
All right, so we are going to get recording session. I have challenges reaching out and what's not getting prompt response. Okay, so let me tell you, Kiran, are you into this WhatsApp group here? So I mean, see, all right. So see, every day the session recordings I'll be uploading them to the drive here, so you can access all the session recordings. You can watch them, the notes, everything. Okay, so through the Google Drive link here. All right, so you'll be getting everything here. And again, so course contents. I think.
I
Okay, so
just
you have it
shared
here.
the
Let's just
PDFs
look at,
related to
yes.
the data engineering, but we are also going to add the analysis part as well. Yeah.
All right. So tomorrow I'll show you that analysis part as well.
Yeah. So if we can add that into the course content
Yes,
worksheet,
yes.
that will be great. We can just
Yeah,
share
yeah.
it with, because we are
I'll,
adding that as a complementary. Yeah.
yes, yes, of course. I'll share
Sure.
that part.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think we are good for today. So guys, we want to see you, all of you, again tomorrow. Vamshi, what we will be learning?
So
Fabric.
I'll be showing you some kind of I'll tell you much details about this data lake and again Azure Data Factory, Databricks, and again Synapse Analytics. So we'll be having a better understanding of all these kind of services. So as part of
Excellent.
data engineering kind of thing. Again,
Yeah.
Fabric Analytics and again Power BI.
Sure. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, all of you, for joining. Hope you got really good value for your valuable time. Valuable time. The time is very, very important, right? So on the internet, we have a lot of theory and everything, but the practical approach, learning from this Vamshi, working in Microsoft as an AI scientist, yes, he's bundled with super knowledge. So let us get most of it. And then please use the same link to join tomorrow. See you guys tomorrow, same time.
Thank you.
If you want the recording,
Thank
just
you,
message me
guys.
on my WhatsApp. You will have the
Yeah.
recording as well. Thank you very
Thank
much
you.
once
Thank
again.
you,
No,
everyone, guys. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank
See
you.
you guys tomorrow.
Thank you.
Vamsi, you can stop the recording and then upload it in the drive, please. Thank you.